In this session, we will look at currency options. Options are unique financial instruments that give, that is, confirm on the holder of the option, the right to buy or sell an asset at a pre-specified price up to a predetermined date without the obligation to do so. To understand how options contract works in the financial markets, let's first of all look at an example. Let us say an importer in Utopia, that's the name of a fictitious country. An importer in Utopia is required to effect payment of $1 million for an import that he has done from the United States. Now we are in July, let us say, and payment is to be made end of September. So he's got a 3-month lead time to effect that payment. The spot USD CCU spot rate is 53.50, CCU being the currency of Utopia. The options contract size is 5 million CCU. So every option unit is 5 million CCU. The October USD CCU call option at a strike price of 53 and a premium of 0.004 per US dollar is available in the options exchange. Therefore, the Utopian importer will buy 11 call options contract on the options exchange maturing in October at a premium of 0.004 into 5 million into 11 plus a brokerage of 20,000 CCU, which totals up to 240,000 CCU. Therefore, the premium is CCU 0.24 per US dollar. And as a result, the assured USD CCU rate as per the options contract is 53, which is the strike price of the option, and 0.24, which is the premium that is to be paid per US dollar. Now, this option is going to mature in October and we are now in July. That's a point you need to bear in mind. So this Utopian importer is now sitting pretty, saying that worst case his obligation will be 53.24 US dollars, irrespective of which way the USD CCU exchange rate is going to move between now and September. Let's say we have now come to September. We are going to look at two scenarios. Scenario 1, where the USD CCU rate has moved to 52.60. In other words, the CCU has appreciated with respect to the US dollar on 22nd September when the payment is actually received. The Utopian importer will then not exercise the option, as he is better off buying the US dollars in the spot market. So the net USD CCU exchange rate inclusive of the premium will be 52.84 and his payment in his local currency CCU will be 52,840,000. Also, remember, the options are expiring in October. Today we are on September the 22nd. Therefore, there is a residue life for that option and the importer can sell the 11 call options if it commands some residual maturity premium. Otherwise, let the options lapse. For example, if the premium in September for October call options is 0.001, by selling the call options for the residual maturity, he will realize 0.001 into 5 million into 11 minus the brokerage of 20,000, which would give him a cash inflow or a net gain of 35,000. Therefore, the effective rate for the Utopian importer will be 52.805. Let's take scenario 2, where the CCU depreciates to 54 per US dollar on the 22nd of September when payment is due. In this case, the Utopian importer will exercise the option, since he is better off exercising the option at the strike price of 53, and his net cost USD CCU exchange rate will be 53.24, which includes the strike price of 53 and a premium of 0.24 per US dollar. and he would therefore be required to pay 53,240,000. As you would have figured from the example we just saw, options contracts are very versatile instruments. The versatility manifested in the holder's right without the obligation to exercise the contract. Hence, options are among the most widely traded derivative instruments around the world. In the global financial markets, option contracts exist on several asset classes: equity stocks, currency, financial assets such as treasury bonds, etc. Let's now look at some of the terminology used in the options market. You'll keep hearing this phrase: call option, put option. A call option gives the buyer of the option the right but no obligation to purchase currency X against a currency Y at a stated price of, say, K units of Y per unit of X on or before a stated date. A put option, on the other hand, gives the buyer of the option the right but no obligation to sell the currency X against currency Y at a stated price of, say, K units of Y per unit of X on or before the stated date. Strike price is the price specified in the option contract, 53.00, if you will recall in the example we saw just a couple of minutes ago. Maturity: this is the date of expiry of the options contract. In a European option, the option can be exercised by the option buyer only on the maturity date. In an American option, unlike in a European option, the option can be exercised by the option buyer on any business date from the contract date of the option to the maturity date of the option. Premium is the fee that the option buyer has to pay upfront to the option seller, also called the option writer, to enable him to have the right but not the obligation to buy or sell the currency at the strike price. Should the option not be exercised until the maturity date, the loss to the option buyer is the premium amount which he has already paid. This in turn, therefore, is the gain for the option seller. Incidentally, option premium is calculated using the Black-Scholes model, which we will not discuss in this course. Those who are interested to know more about the Black-Scholes model, you may look up the web link provided at the end of this video. In the case of currency option, when the spot exchange rate on any date S is equal to the strike price K, then the option is said to be at the money. When the spot exchange rate is greater than the strike price K, then the option is said to be in the money. And when the spot exchange rate is less than the strike price K, then the option is said to be out of the money. There are several other variants of options called straddles, strangles, butterfly options, and so on and so forth, which I have not dealt with in this course in detail. Those of you who would like to know more, I would suggest you look up a classic book called Options, Futures and Other Derivatives. The author's name, John C. Hull.